It really feels like he's already part of the family, doesn't he?
On this episode of Bondi Vet...
You can see the problem straight away. She's missing that whole section there.
Can Chris find a way to save a pelican's badly damaged foot?
We've never seen nothing like it.
I can feel some crunching there.
That is a serious break.
Lisa is horrified by a young puppy's injuries after a freak accident.
The only way that's going to get better is with surgery.
Really? Stop it.
And can dog trainer Kira find a solution for an accident-prone puppy?
Little Scouty surprise.
It shouldn't be like that at 6 months. That's unusual.
Come on, there's your girl.
Now more than ever, we need the joy that a puppy can bring into our lives. But the reality is, without the right training, the dream of owning a puppy can turn into a nightmare.
Let's not pick on Otto. No. I just want my kids not be so scared.
Right.
My name is Kira Ryle, and for the past 10 years, I've been helping puppies and their parents be the best they can be.
Hand up to your shoulder. Now, boom. Good, eyeball her.
Who is excited to see what your puppy can do?
Taking on the most challenging cases.
Boom! It comes out as strong energy.
And turning them around.
That was good.
Welcome to Bondi Vet's Puppy School. Scouty.
In Melbourne, 6-month-old Scout is jousting with owner Siobhan with the energy you'd expect from a frisky youngster.
That's my jumper.
Scout is a little bundle of joy. He's really gentle and he just makes everyone smile.
But while the energetic Jack Russell Poodle cross could play all day, sadly his adoring owner Siobhan can't.
I have a chronic illness that only has recently been diagnosed. I have an autoimmune disease that attacks my autonomic nervous system. It essentially means I struggle with fatigue, eating, anything that your body does automatically, mine doesn't.
Scouty, relax.
Siobhan relies on a feeding tube to get the nutrients she needs and a wheelchair whenever she leaves home.
Scouty, come here.
I only use my wheelchair when I need it. So I can walk around the house, but I couldn't walk around a grocery store, I couldn't walk around a shopping centre, and some days I honestly struggled to get out of bed.
Scout, no, I'm tired.
Because of my sickness, I spent a lot of time by myself and I wanted a companion dog and a best friend.
But Siobhan's chronic illness is not her only challenge.
Yay. Scout, not again.
So the massive problem with Scout is his toilet training. Well, I should say lack of toilet training.
Scouty, stop it, really?
He tends to do number 1 and number 2s pretty much anywhere he can find.
Little Scouty surprise. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Scout is a really smart dog. We've trained him to sit, stay, roll over.
Stay, drop.
But toilet training, he just, no.
This is a weekly wash because Scout pees on that many things.
Apart from all the mess, Siobhan and her housemate Liam have another reason for urgently wanting to get Scout's toilet training under control.
Do I get a cuddle? Do I get a cuddle?
Siobhan and I are working on a program to take into primary schools to help young students with stress management.
We work with a lot of kids that have behavioural issues, so Scout's a really calming figure and can help kids open up and can make kids feel safe.
But there's no way Scout can visit schools while his toileting remains a problem.
So we're bringing Scout to Kira's today because we're hoping she has some miracle answer.
Oh my goodness, she's
is a little cutie pie, huh? What a little scruffy one.
Yeah. The reality of him not being able to come into schools would be absolutely heartbreaking. I feel like this is our last resort.
So SIOBHAN, tell me what's going on.
He is not getting the toilet training thing at all. He will just come inside after he's played outside purely to do a wee. We've tried grass mats inside, we've gotten rid of all of our carpet. If he's going in the wrong spot, we pick him up. But I find it really hard with my mobility issues to get up that quickly.
How bad is it? Like, how many accidents are you getting a day?
Probably 4 to 6 times a day.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a lot.
Definitely.
When SIOBHAN told me that Scout goes to the toilet inside 4, 5, maybe even 6 times a day, I got a bit worried. It shouldn't be like that at 6 months. That's unusual. So what I've heard you say is that the accidents happen more often inside than outside, and that it can be hard for you to get up quickly. Would it be helpful if he somehow could communicate to you, hey, I need to go outside?
That would be magical, but he can't talk.
Okay, well, I've got an idea for how to solve that.
Okay.
I'll just duck off to my little prop box and I'll be back.
Okay.
I'm a little worried that when Scout was very young, SIOBHAN didn't quite have the energy to keep up with his need to be let out. Oh yep, this is the one. He thinks it's still okay to go inside, and that needs to change. So I've just picked up this toy, and I reckon that that can actually become our savior. Okay. I'll show you how, come with me. SIOBHAN and Liam looked quite surprised when I said that we were going to teach Scout to tell them when he wanted to go outside a door. It's easy to think that dogs can't communicate with us just because they don't have a verbal language. They're actually phenomenal at using sign language. What's this? Yeah, what's this? So I don't really want to make it a toy for him. I just want him to not be scared of it.
The first part of Kira's plan is to train Scout to tell his owners when he wants to go outside.
So I'm just going to close the door just a little wider than his shoulders, not much. And then I'll put him down. Call him.
Scouty, Scouty, come here, Bubba.
Yeah, well done, Scout. He already wants to come out and get treats. Yay. I love that he's so willing to learn. I'm repeating each step of this exercise many times because it's important that Scout has the opportunity to really see, okay, this is what I'm doing. Well done. Before I can move on to the next step. SIOBHAN, this time I'm going to add this toy on the inside of the door. And if Scout gives me any indication that he wants to come through the door by bashing the toy, pushing at the door, or even barking, I'm going to open up the door for him. Yay! Good boy! Well done! I feel super optimistic at this point. Scout is picking up on the training real quick. And I really like Scout and SIOBHAN as a team. They match each other well. Yes! Good boy! My heart leaps with joy when I see Scout bash the toy with his paw. As a trainer, it's one of those moments where you go, bam! Yes! Got it! Yay! That was perfect! Good boy!
Now that Scout has mastered ringing his new doorbell, the next step is to teach him to go to the toilet on command.
It's important when he's asked you to be let out that you don't go out and play with him, because then he'll ask all the time.
Yeah.
And if he goes to the toilet, say toilet, toilet, toilet while he goes. Okay. Because you want to create association between action and sound.
Yes.
And toilet, toilet. Yay! Good boy, Scout!
The idea that Scout could go to the toilet on command is really exciting. He could come into schools, and with my mobility issues, he would just be a lot easier to manage.
You've been so good today. Yes, you have. You've been a really awesome boy. So clever.
Liam and I are going to work together to get him tapping that bell so we can work towards our bigger goal.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Lovely.
I'm a Scouty.
SIOBHAN is incredibly inspiring to me. She's got so many obstacles in her path, and yet she just forges on. And I'm so impressed with how quickly Scout learned things today. I've got my hopes up high.
See ya. Bye. Bye.
What's this? Yeah, good boy.
1 month later, Siobhan and Liam are overjoyed with Scout's progress.
Since seeing Kira, it's actually been life-changing. The nightmare is over. Scout has been able to master the bell, which is awesome.
Yes, Daddy! Good boy!
It means that I have time to be able to get up and let him out.
Toilet, toilet, toilet!
Toilet, toilet, toilet. It's us trying to get Scout to pee on command.
Good boy, Scouty!
He does it probably 70% of the time.
Good boy, Scouty! Good work!
The best part about it is not having that constant voice in the back of my head just being like, oh, quick, scan the floor, has Scout done a wee, has Scout done a poo? We can really spend more time doing the things that we love.
I'm so excited to take him into schools and for him to meet all the kids and do everything that we always wanted him for.
I love you, Scouty.
Around these parts, Bridget and Paula, the twinnies, are renowned for their passion and dedication for rescuing pelicans. Now today they've called me in to help out one that has a mysterious condition that has even them stumped.
Chris is on the Gold Coast to meet a couple of familiar old friends who are dedicated to the care and rehabilitation of seabirds.
Hey twinnies.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too.
So this is the girl, you nearly got a kiss as well.
Yes.
This is the girl you called me about?
Yes, yes we did.
Does she have a name?
Yes, we've named her Flipper.
Okay.
And you'll know why.
Just look straight down there, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. There's no doubt about it. Right now, Flipper is in a bad way. She's just missing all that webbing, and really that foot of hers just looks so fragile now. How's her general condition?
She's in good body condition.
Flipper was found by a member of the public who came across the stricken bird while out fishing.
When we saw Flipper for the first time and looked at her foot, we've never seen nothing like it before, so we couldn't really tell what's really happened to her.
And you can see the problem straight away. She's missing really that whole section there.
Yes.
And the fact it's not there worries me, but to be honest, what worries me the most is that. This black colour really says that we've got dead tissue there. A black discoloration to any part of the body essentially means the blood supply is gone and that tissue is dead. You know, already I've got big concerns that we might even lose what's remaining of these two toes.
Yeah.
This toe is not in bad shape,
No.
but you can just see where that webbing ends there.
Yes.
It's just hanging on for its life. These ones here, and even this one up here, isn't looking great. I'm looking at that dead tissue and thinking, how am I going to treat it? But before I work out that, I have to understand what's actually caused it. The way it looks, I would say either she's been bitten by something and she's got an infection after that,
Yes.
whether that's a shark, that's a possibility, or whether she's stood on something and got a little electric shock, because that does look like an electrical burn.
Yeah, it does, yes.
There was no fishing line on her, was there?
No, there's no fishing line, but you can see
that?
old scars. Yeah.
All sorts of different possibilities as to what could have caused this injury are swirling around my head when all of a sudden my finger runs across a little groove on the leg. And that is quite deep, and that goes right around. See, that's interesting, because if she's had fishing line around there, that acts like a tourniquet, as you know, and so it starts to affect the blood supply to the foot below it.
Yes.
I actually think the blood supply has been so badly affected to the lower part of the foot, and especially the webbing on the end of the toes, that they're no longer getting blood.
Oh, yes.
And when tissue no longer gets blood, it starts to die off.
Wow.
It's like pieces of this jigsaw puzzle are falling into place before my very eyes. This fishing line wrapped around the leg essentially acted like a dam on a river. It blocked off almost all the flow. So further downstream, in the toes or the webbing, simply missed out. It went dry, and therefore the tissue has died off. So that's important because what it tells us, and I think this is good news, is that we don't have a nasty infection raging that's trying to work its way up the leg. We've kind of identified the reason why this has happened.
Yes.
And now we also know that the blood supply should be returning back to that foot.
Yes. Yes.
The key now is to check whether that fishing line being wrapped around the leg for so long has caused a permanent problem. By simply pricking the webbing with a needle, we'll know straight away if that blood supply is present.
Oh, yeah, good.
Wow.
That's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So we've got blood supply there.
Yes.
And that's in the webbing. So that says to me that webbing's probably going to survive. Now I know this foot is viable, it's important to make sure we don't have any further infection or any further damage to this tissue. There's not much left, so we have to make sure we preserve what is there. The next thing I want to do is just see how she's supporting her weight. Because that's going to tell me how painful this foot is.
Yes.
She's taking, I would say, about 80% of her weight on her left leg, and that's going to cause problems in that leg too.
Yeah, we will.
First, let's clean this foot up, and then, while we're doing that, I'll try to work out a way to actually make this foot a lot more comfortable and a lot more functional.
You'll do it.
Thank you. I hope so. I don't really want to be too vigorous in there because we've already got very raw tissue that if I expose it, it increases the risk of it getting a secondary infection.
Oh, okay. Well, Chris has been gentle, isn't he, huh? Yeah.
Okay, that's looking a lot better now. So
Yes.
that antiseptic will stop the bacteria from invading into those open wounds.
Yes.
That's a start. What's really going to help is some antibiotics.
The antibiotics will treat any infection or disease caused by bacteria from the injured foot.
We'll just do a little sting in this.
All right, so between the antibiotic and the antiseptic, I'm confident now that bacteria invading into this wound isn't going to be such a big deal.
Yes, okay.
All right.
That's good to hear. Yes.
But I still think the biggest issue we've got is this pressure problem. She's just not comfortable enough or confident enough to put anything like what she needs to in terms of weight on this bad foot.
Yeah.
What really worries me about Flipper right now is the fact that she's a big bird. She weighs 6 kilograms, and all that weight going through one foot. Any bird is susceptible to a foot problem called bumblefoot. It's caused by too much pressure going through the feet and infections being the result of it. I think I might need to go for a drive.
Okay. Wow, you're already on top of it.
I wouldn't say that, but I've got an idea about what I could use.
Okay. I'm not sure what Chris is up to, but he's on top of things already. He thinks so quick, he's just amazing. We know that Chris can fix Flipper.
I made a bit of a habit of coming up with interesting solutions for the twinnies, and today might be no different.
You've been a good girl. You're a very good girl.
Okay, twinnies, been shopping.
That was quick.
It was. So, it looks like I bought a yoga mat, but it's not. You've actually given me the idea for this. We're going to give Flipper, or Flip, her own flip-flop. Because what we need here, it's cushioning, sure, but also we need protection for these toes that are still there.
Yes, that's right.
And we need a way to make her more comfortable so that she will actually start to put weight on this foot. I'm thinking, what's the most basic form of footwear that offers some sort of comfort or even support? And suddenly, it hits me. It's thongs or flip-flops. So, what I want to do is lay this out. Then I want her foot,
The good one or the bad one?
the bad one.
Okay.
I want her foot right there. Make sure she's nice and comfortable. Okay. So now Go right around it.
First of all, Chris needs to make a protective base for Flipper's injured foot.
So that is a good starting point.
Then, with the help of a reverse template of the Pelican's good foot, he can start to put together his master plan.
We love Chris's idea of the flip-flop and for Flipper's foot, and we think it is going to work.
Pretty sure I haven't done this much arts and crafts since kindergarten. Right, so that's Flip's new foot.
Yes.
You can see where her existing foot is going to go in. And then, once those little toes are in there, we need to now secure them across the top.
Okay.
And the way we're going to do that is with this.
Good old Velcro.
Good old Velcro.
As Flipper waits patiently, Chris is attaching the Velcro that will help keep the shoe in place, along with some cushioning.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I'm ready for our patient.
Okay, sweetheart.
This is really make or break for Flipper. This has to work, otherwise she could be facing a lifetime of problems. Let's hope it fits, huh?
Yes. Yeah, it looks like it's perfect.
So just like the straps on a pair of sandals.
Yes.
We'll start to put these across. So we're happy that it's sitting in there nicely.
Yes. Yes.
Nothing's rubbing, everything's been cushioned. Okay, it's a pretty good fit.
Yes.
I've got to say, I'm actually pretty happy with that. It is a lightweight fix for a heavy bird problem. So it's just going to take some getting used to for her. So once she feels like this is how it's meant to be, it becomes her new normal, then she'll start taking the weight off this left leg and shifting it onto the right.
Yes.
And we can start doing that by lifting up the left leg.
Yeah.
You see now, all that weight is through her right leg.
Yeah.
Really, a little bit of physio like that from the 20s, and in the next few days, we should really start to see Flipper starting to walk more normally and spread that weight more evenly. And that would be a perfect result. Put her on the ground. Let's have a look. I'll move this away.
Perfect.
What do you reckon? What do you think?
Oh my God. See? See?
Your pair of shoes. Yeah.
You're happy, miss?
A little flap of approval from the Flipper.
No, look, she's walking perfectly.
She just wants to show off the new shoes to the neighbours.
I know that she's got it even on there. Perfect fit.
And she's standing a bit more square, isn't she?
Yeah, oh, what a sweetheart. Well,
Amazing.
you've done another good job. This challenge, again, what Chris has done, he's an amazing vet, and that's why we always keep our challenges for Chris.
All right, we'll leave her to rest.
Yes. There you go, darling. Look at you.
I'll be honest, when I got the call from the 20s about Flipper, I had serious concerns that maybe I wouldn't be able to help. But thankfully, there's been just enough webbing there for me to make some sort of difference. As I've learnt in the past, these girls have incredible powers when it comes to rehabilitating these birds. So in the future, I can't rule out the fact that one day, Flipper might be able to kick off those shoes and go back to the wild.
But thank you again.
No worries at all.
Thank you again.
You know what? It's always a surprise, but always a pleasant one.
Yes, and going to be plenty more.
That's all right.
We hope.
So do I.
At the Bondi Referral Hospital SASH, Joseph and Judy are in damage control after a freak accident at home. Their 11-year-old daughter Rose has fallen on their puppy and appears to have broken his leg.
She was very upset, really teary and just basically devastated. And she kept on saying to me, it's an accident, it's an accident.
Oh, little man. Oh. Without even putting much pressure on that, I can feel some crunching there. So he's got a big fracture. I think that's broken in half. Adorable. Like a little lamb.
Emergency vet Lisa Chimes will now take x-rays, but she's almost certain they'll confirm Pip has suffered a shocking fracture.
He's in a good place, sweetie. Do not worry.
Consumed with guilt, Judy's daughter Rose is calling to find out just how badly she's hurt her puppy.
And I'll let you know exactly what they're going to be doing to him. You just say a prayer for Pip. He'll be fine.
Wow, that is a serious break.
Unfortunately, the x-ray results are going to make Rose feel even worse.
The two fragments of bone are just sitting at right angles to each other where they should be straight. So the only way that's going to get better is with surgery. Pip is a 13-week-old puppy. He's full of life normally, and this life has been snapped out of him with this break. It's just awful. Here's the little boy. Look after him.
I will.
Oh, he's so tiny.
At SASH, it's now time for surgery to try to save 13-week-old Pip's shattered leg.
And there's this thing.
Pip's got quite a nasty fracture of his thigh bone, and it's just cracked straight in two. So we're going to put a plate and some screws in there to get it together and get it stable.
Surgery on the tiny puppy will need to be precise and quick.
With a little bloke like this, we don't want him on the table for too long, because even with all the heating that we provide, they can get really cold, and we can have all sorts of anaesthetic complications if they do that. So we've just got to be in and out. Pip's bones are just so small, they'd be 6 millimetres wide, and I'm trying to get a 2 millimetre screw into the bone. So there's not a lot of room for error. Because Pip's only 13 weeks old, he's still growing, and as a result, I'm going to have to compromise a little bit on how many screws I can put in the bone, because if I put too many in, I'll go across one of his growth plates, and that'll stunt his growth.
How about that? You're going to go home soon. This is one day after surgery and he's walking. The leg is fixed.
Pip has made an amazing recovery after his leg was snapped in half. After just 24 hours, the toy poodle can now go home with his family.
Your family's excited to see you. Yes, they are.
It was 11-year-old Rose who fell on her puppy. After blaming herself, seeing Pip again is a huge relief.
We've got to be very gentle when you hold him.
Hi. Can you see?
Poor Rose missed Pip so much, and when I brought him into the room, the look on her face, just priceless. And I know she is just going to look after him from now on.
Over at Scott's and Margaret's practice, head vet nurse Emma is about to get a big surprise for her birthday.
Morning, Elle. Hi, Emma. Happy birthday.
This is for me.
This is your birthday treat.
Who's
birthday
this?
present. This is George.
Hi, George.
What are you doing hanging out on reception?
I see this beautiful ginger cat sat on Elle's lap, and he is gorgeous. I wonder if Elle's got me a really awesome birthday present, but I'm suspicious there's a little bit more to this story.
Earlier today, the ginger cat was dropped off at the clinic after his owners could no longer look after him.
Oh, that's a shame. So he needs a forever home, but I need you to look over him.
All right, George, let's have a quick checkup.
I have totally lost my heart, George, and I'm hoping that Emma will too.
There we are. Oh, you're going to get weighed?
Oh, hello, little man. 3.5 kilos. That's, for a cat this sort of size, he really should be about 5 kilos or so, at least. I mean, you can feel all of his hip bones. You can feel his spine. You can see he's got no muscle on his back legs at all. everyone will agree that he really just needs feeding up to start with.
We could do a bit of grooming as well.
Yeah.
Don't you think his fur's looking
I mean,
a
his
bit...
skin is all, like, you can easily see his skin through his fur, so his fur is not in a good condition at all. Oh, you poor little man.
Well, you're in good hands now.
Oh, let's have a little listen to your ticker. Listen to the purrs in this cat's chest. It's ridiculous. If you can hear a heartbeat out of this, you're a better nurse than me.
It's just purring.
I can't hear anything. I literally can't hear anything. We have been saying for a while that we should have a practice pet. Do you reckon Scott would let us keep him?
Well, you can only ask, Emma, can't you?
Because it's my birthday, I reckon I've got some power here.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, you want to stay with us, George? Oh my God, he's actually melting my heart a little bit. This is ridiculous. Let's make this happen. Unfortunately, there is a tall, blonde Australian vet that kind of hangs around with us, so I do have to ask his opinion on certain things.
Hello.
Hi, Scotty.
Hello, ladies and cats.
Cat's the main reason we're calling.
Okay.
The best way to get around Scott Miller is to flatter him first. So, you know how we really love you?
Oh, of course, it goes without saying.
And you're so handsome and a really good vet.
Wow, this feels really loaded. This is the kind of way that my kids get stuff out of me.
Yes, I'm using the exact same tactic. George needs a forever home. So we have been discussing for a while how we would really like a practice pet. And we feel that George fits the bill. And since it's my birthday, I have extra power here.
Yes, okay. Am I getting out of the present if I give you George?
Okay, I can make peace with the big ginger cat as my birthday present.
Yay.
Okay, well, why not? I think we're going to have to read the vet clinic, the Ark.
Oh, George, do you hear that? Elle and I are absolutely over the moon. Scott said that we can keep George as our practice pet. We need to feed him up and get him back to full health, but hopefully he will just become part of the family and settle in really well.
Good luck with all those strong females around me.
He's definitely got a lot of cuddles to catch up with, and I'm very happy to give them, as are all the other nurses.
Bye, mate. Good luck.
Bye. See you later. In the bag.
Yay.
In the bag, George.
Yay.
Yeah, you like it up here because you can see everything, can't you?
The latest addition to the family is still getting used to his new home.
George has come on amazingly. His purring is incredible. It vibrates through the whole building. I think it's lovely.
All that sort of dandruffy stuff is all gone. I mean, look how much better his skin is looking as well. It's not looking as dry.
Oh, and look at his mane. Look, he has actually got his colouring of a lion. Look.
It really does.
Since Emma and Elle convinced Scott to keep George as the clinic cat, he's been getting VIP treatment.
I think George has found his home, where it's full of love and lots of care.
Well, hello. I feel like I'm intruding.
You are slightly.
But there's one important person who still has to make George's acquaintance.
Hello, handsome boy. Oh, he's really slumming it here, isn't he? Seems like he's enjoying a bit of grooming. I know why you love him, because you have a bit of a type for a ginger bloke, don't you?
All right. I do love a ginger.
Uncle Scotty, yeah? He's still a bit bony, but is he putting on some weight, Elle, now?
Yeah, he is. He's putting on a little bit of weight. He likes little meals, little and often.
Okay.
So just building him up.
It's very obvious that George has had a tough life. He's very thin. He has a lot of condition that he needs to put on, but he's certainly in the right place for that.
I hear this is your favourite at the minute. Oh, you smell that one.
Well, he gets better service than I do.
Oh, yum.
He seems very happy here. Long may he reign in St Margaret's.
It really feels like he's already part of the family, doesn't he?
He really is.
Yes.
Hey, it's like Hotel Vet on the Hill. Who wouldn't want to stay?
Absolutely.
5-star treatment, isn't it?
Nothing but the best.
I'm Dr. Danny. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to subscribe to the Bondi Vet YouTube channel. Click on the screen now to continue watching more great content. And if you love Bondi Vet, then check out our Bondi Pet Marketplace at bondipet.com for a great range of Aussie pet products and services. We can't wait to see you there.